For Latin Americans, the Spanish Black legend could be an eye-opener for why their society is formed the way that it is. This can relate to social norms, environments around them, and religious affiliation. Coming from a Guatemalan family, I experienced plenty of prejudice. The surprising thing is that most of the racism I experienced was not done by a white person, it was done by fellow brown people. It wasn't until I got older that I experienced prejudice from other races. The issue of interpersonal racism is usually never spoken about. I would often see that there was an interracial hierarchy that was established in which somehow Mexicans would always be favored or on top. I grew up in Lenox, California, which is a predominantly Hispanic unincorporated area of Los Angeles within Inglewood, California. During my time living in Lenox, I was very unaware of a lot of things I would see on the news that dealt with racism and social justice. However, once I came to college and got out of my little bubble, my perception about these issues changed. I can now see how the Spanish Black legend is applicable to everyday life. It truly is eye-opening to see that the system favors the white man as opposed to any other person. Where do I see myself within the anti-Latino bias on campus? I'm one of the few believers that believes that UC Davis does a decently good job providing community for students of Latino descent. However, I recognize that my perception is somewhat biased because of my level of involvement within the Latino community on campus. This includes constantly being involved in events for the Latino community, living in a Latino living learning community my freshman year, and being part of a Latino-based fraternity. I myself have not yet been affected by the anti-Latino sentiment. I did, however, conclude that community is there for those that look for it at UC Davis, because it can be easy to be unaware of the resources on campus which are meant to build community at such a large institution. It is easy to look over the deeper meaning of things, especially when they become part of one's daily routine. In my personal case, I had to reflect one day and thought to myself, why is the Chicanic Center on campus so small? Just think about that. There is only a small section of campus which is dedicated for the Chilac community on campus. Just based off pure common sense, one could see that a bigger space is needed for the Chilac community, being that they make up 23% of the school's population. The services provided by UC Davis for minorities does not reflect the makeup of the student body. The perception of young Latinos in America, specifically those males from low-income communities, is often that they will end up dropping out, joining a gang, or end up in prison. While this is often the case, studies have shown that ethnic studies integrated into the high school system curriculum have helped with retention rates and overall gave a grade boost. According to Thomas D. and Emily Penner in a 2016 study, those students which took an ethnic studies class had a 1.4 GPA increase as well as credits earned by 23 points. When reading this, I thought to myself of just how great the advantages of taking these courses are for the students. Then I thought, what if they are just receiving higher grades because the curriculum for ethnic studies is so easy that it's taken as a GPA booster as opposed to an actual history class? I reflected about the Spanish class that I was forced to take in high school and realized that my Spanish class acted as an ethnic studies class. Although I did not learn about the history of things, I did become more aware of current social issues. The point which I'm trying to get at is that despite me taking Spanish as a GPA booster or as a joke, I still learn new things about social issues. I believe that the same will be done with ethnic studies. To finish my statements, I would like to reflect on Schlater's passage about state curriculum standards. Up until this class, I did not really think about how history was shaped or why it's taught the way that it is. In the reading by Schlater, I saw that even ethnic studies, as we know it today, is somewhat inaccurate and in other ways unjust. Most of the people which determine the curriculum for ethnic studies do not even belong to that ethnicity and are not certified in that subject matter. It would be great if the people who taught minorities their history knew and lived the history. Why are history teachers at the grade level the least qualified teachers? Because knowledge is power, minority groups are deprived of it. Having educators of same ethnic background as the history being taught to students makes the curriculum that much more impactful. More resources should be incorporated into the decimation of historical time periods in the classroom across the country. Students should not have to wait until they have the chance to attend a higher education institute to learn about different minority groups' histories. These lessons should be implemented at a younger age, thus making students more culturally aware with the communities.